Yeah? Being good is the greatest enemy of being great. So a lot of people, and I don't know where you are, some of you are working, some of you are entrepreneurs. There's a place called the comfort zone, right? Some of you are earning $300, some of you are earning $1,000, some of you are earning $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever. But some of you are comfortable. And we all know this, nothing grows in your comfort zone. But if you want to be great, you have to become very uncomfortable with where you are. Now I can tell you, for me, my past, where I came from, I know much Taure, but I made a it's okay, but I can tell you, I never used to dress like this. And I put a shopping mall, it fly over. Tawend up here, so by a lifter. That's where I used to go and shop, and because I always had an image of becoming that person I wanted to be, right? So I always used to dress, you know what I love about Ragada, so we learn. If you want to be great, if you want to look good, you have to remember, if you dress the way you want to be addressed, right? I've learned that from so many of my mentors who told me, George, before so always look good. If you're not smart, make sure was telling, because one is not a panachirimo by what comes out of your mouth. But appearance is everything. I've always had an ambition and a desire to become great. And that's the first thing about becoming great. It begins with a desire. Now I want us to take a little, just maybe half a minute. Maybe some of you are writing on your tablet or you've got a pen and paper. I am George Billionaire, correct? That's who I am. I'm great, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm successful. I'm a lot of things. I want you just to write 5 things about yourself and what you consider yourself to be, right? Put your heads down, start writing or typing in your phones or wherever. Describe who you are. Just things that describe you. Think about comes about. Yeah? Get this, whatever you think about comes about. Now some of you wrote things for the very first time about yourself and you're shocked, about some of the words you wrote that really describe who you are. But it shows a lot about the self-talk and the self-time you spend with yourself. Now I'm a very avid believer in who I want to actually become in life, that I talk to myself. She spoke about talking in the mirror, and it was but kuzvisimbisa because wakasazvisimbisa hapana kusimbisa wakasazvunza kuti wakanaka usatenge umwe munhu changu handiti inini kuzoti ndakachena handimiri. So I know I'm a billionaire already, right? Okay. And there's something that's called the law of attraction in the universe, right? I love this, and I'm chatting to George Billionaire, but it is what it is. And when God created the heavens and the earth, what did he do? He spoke. He spoke. And remember, we said success leaves clues. And he spoke. When Muhammad Ali was in grade 6, 7, what did he say to all his friends at a young age? I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. And did it. Right? If you research, he spoke. In the word of God, it also says, let the poor, let's say it out. Let the blind, let the poor, blind, let the weak. There's something about saying. Do you understand me? There's something about speaking things into existence. That unless you begin to do it yourself, there are certain things which will not come to you. So some of you want to be 1,000 years. Don't be surprised. Do level rako. Because 1,000. Remember, the word of God also goes to say, according to your faith, it shall be done unto you. My target is 1 billion. I don't know about you. And then, so usashamisi in your life, how many of you are good? How many of you want to be great? Great people have a desire for things more than everybody else. Now I can tell you, for me and what I do, I love air conditioning so much. So I've done so many things. I've worked in various sectors of the economy. But funny enough, one day Shanda, it's all God's thing. I failed my O-levels dismally because I loved soccer. I got a scholarship at Prince Edward. I graduated. So the level of education that I have is my A-level. And I got 3 points at A-level, right? I was supposed to go to university, but my father couldn't take me. Then I went to the university where I graduated with my faculty of hustle. I don't know if some of you know this. I don't know if some of you know the University of Zimexmo. I attended 3 years there and I graduated with my faculty of hustle. And after that, I did a lot of this that you guys are doing, where I went to listen to successful people and what they did to become successful. After they spoke, I went and I asked, say, can I take you for lunch? And I went in to try and find out. You know, the word of God in Matthew 7:7 says, ask and you shall, seek and you shall, knock and the door shall be open. And that's what I did to most of the speakers. Pandey and be it Nigel Chanakira, be it Shingmienza, be it Dr. Philip Chiamba, be it Zodwam Kandla, Dr. Eve Kadzikwa, all these great people, right? And I went and I took them for lunch and I did special things for them, right? If I traveled, I would go and buy them a book and this and that. And what I did, I identified eagles, the great people, and I began to associate with them. Now I want you to look at yourself. I want you to close your eyes. Nobody look at me. Close your eyes, except the camera people, of course. Right? Close your eyes. Who are your top 5 friends? Top 5 friends. Who are your top 5? Alright, who are your top 5 friends? Right? Who are your top 5 friends? Okay. Right, I'm going to say friends. Who are your top 5 associates? And right now, Ndibunze, Udpanapur is stuck. And Papa, hi guys, we're going for lunch with all the hosts. You need $50. Who can you call? Shandigiro 50 per Stanbic. Israel. And I'm doing the 20 questions. Why just say what? Yeah, it's funny. But, and then if you go into your phone, some of you only 5,000 contacts, 10,000, 20, 100,000. But how many of those friends can support your hustle or your business? Yeah. So I got to find this out very early in life. And you know, I thank my father and my parents for changing my mind. But they sacrificed to take me to St. George's College, right? A private school. But my mindset was changed from the guys who stayed in Glenora. So in order for you to become a great person, it begins here. It begins with your association. When I went into Pandai and to St. George's and when I must sleep over, and what I saw blew me away. Because remember, it's in a 2-bedroom house, and moms, then my sister sleep, then the boys sleep in there. I was like, so there's something that happens with being exposed that makes you feel very uncomfortable. Write this down. You don't know how poor you are. Write this one. You don't know how poor you are until you go to a rich man's house. You don't. Right now, when you're in bed, you know, once you go to somebody else's home, presidential suit, trust you me, when you go back home, or you go back into your car, or you go back to your office, why end up with another standard of excellence? Your mind will not be the same. And this is why I say the comfort zone. Because when you're not exposed I'm happy that you guys came, because I can guarantee you with the info that you're getting, your mind is not going to be the same when you leave here. Because whatever, wow, there's something in you that says, wait a minute, I learned about, alchemy. I learned about not settling for being good and to be great. I learned about what I want to become ultimately. And wherever you want to go in life is determined by the perimeter of people that are around you. Now I can tell you, I run a company called Pro Air Conditioning. We are responsible for making the weather behave in your car, home. This is a commercial break. We are responsible for bringing comfort, heating and cooling solutions in your car, home, office, your fridge, your boardroom, etc. And I love that with such a passion. I do that with my heart. So some of you know me and follow me every single day. We're putting it in your face, whether it's me. Today, Faith had asked me, George, please don't come branded. She asked me, because she knows every other day I'm always moving around brand, because I love what I do. And that is my strongest stream of income. And one thing about becoming great, just like the people who in this country who are great, right? I want you to write this acronym down. Focus, right? F-O-C-U-S. All the people that I'm going to talk about are great. All of them. And you're going to understand after we then fill in the acronym what it means. Tell me, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Oprah Winfrey? Shout it out. Television talk show. Okay. Steve Jobs.
Airport.
Okay. Bill Gates. Strive Masiwa. Michael Jackson. Serena Williams. Philip Chiangwa. Philip Chiangwa.
Business.
All right, Zod Wamkanda. Ken Sharp. Okay. Now.
George Billionaire.
George Billionaire. Now, I want you to ask yourself this. What is the first thing that comes to people's minds when they hear your name? Yeah, what's the first thing? And get this correctly. If you are posted today, how many people are going to know exactly what you do? In order for you to be great, remember this. Now I'll tell you, for me, when I started Pro Air, I used to bombard in 2012. Mom said social media because I got a revelation with George. Start posting now. Start being a loud mouth now about what you're doing, right? It didn't make sense to people. My group it's not an advertising platform. But I was so passionate about what I had started. And I had twins and I had a wife. And I had to make something work. But then if you don't love what you do, and these are your potential clients in here. And you just pass for an opportunity. Restaurant 10, we can take your whole chunk load. You don't want to die. And to me, I became so obsessed with what I love. And I tell you, whenever you love something so much, that thing will begin to love you back and take care of you. And I can tell you now, wherever I go, whether I'm branded or not, people are, that's that guy. And that's what you should aim for if you want to be great. Remember the names I said. You don't need to talk about what you already know, right? You know Jeff Bezos. Yeah? So become so passionate. And some of you say, social media, I'm not that, your poster is not me. Let me tell you something. TV is great, radio is great, but social media stays forever. Radio and TV is nowhere in the job, but with social media, you're creating a footprint of what you want people to continuously see. And remember, I said what you talk about comes about. right? If you're constantly telling people, there's somebody every day, get this correctly, and this is my belief, and it's worked for me. If I go for lunch, Naka Brandeo, right? Right? I've got Pro Air somewhere while I'm driving a car. There's somebody who's seeing your brand for the very first time every single day. That's my belief, right? And trust me, everywhere I've gone, it's always opened doors because you become a moving billboard. And now I don't need to do it anymore. I don't think Strive Masiwa, I've never seen him wearing anything to do with what he does. Why? Because he did it so long ago, and there's so many people who are doing it for him who fell in love with what he does, right? And now people are automatically brand ambassadors of what he does. Yeah? But it starts initially with you. And remember I said, whatever you think about yourself, whether you are good or great, it begins with you ultimately. And that's the most important thing, right? Focus. Focus. Write this down. People who I spoke about, focus, right? Focus, abbreviated, stands for follow one course until success. Okay. Follow one course until success. All these people focused on one thing. The greatest challenge with entrepreneurs, if you want to be great, be known specifically for one thing. Now I'll tell you, I research a lot on all the billionaires in the world. To date, there are 2,654 billionaires in the world to date, right? To date. And those have understood. But one thing about them, you find with Oyo, his core business was mining, right? Then he diversified later on into other things. But the greatest thing about entrepreneurs when they start, Mundokul means of diversify. You understand? You have to take time. For Econet then to diversify, it took them 15 years. For Aliko Dangote to diversify, it took him such a long time. And then they diversify. So it's so important, whatever you are doing, don't try and be a jack of all trades and then when I was at the first part, but they don't know the rest of it. And it now routing as a laptop. That was my laptop. And then it was my mask, COVID. Now when it was my payroll, now when local, and now with a videograph. You know, stay stuck on one thing. That's why I said a lot of you, identity is a major crisis. And it will hinder you from becoming great. Because I just was what we eat. We don't. Naspa kamuga kwine zuwa, ya ndugu beka makeke. Mangwana, wakutaka ndakasiyana nazo. That's how a lot of people miss their opportunities. Because utakuwenda nezvokuitika munyika. Just because I'm into air conditioning doesn't mean you should be. Yeah? Because zvandakaiteni kuti ndiwe where I am, I attended a lot of expos. I went and sat down with a lot of people who did the thing and told me how to do this, how to do that, and etc. You won't want to, can you imagine, you're $200, this is good, but you don't have that background and know-how of how to do it. So it's rather better you focus. You will never become great without focus. We all know Usain Bolt, 9.57 seconds, and if you listen to Usain Bolt, he just ran for 120 seconds his whole life. Maka calculator my 100 meters. And it, huh? My 9 seconds, and it. Manga and if I fire mine, never 200 seconds, my 20 seconds, and it. But what did he do to become that great? It's what he did behind the scenes. Right now, Munona, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Alain Messi. It's the power of focus that ultimately makes you become the person that you want to be. But your lack of focus, trust you me, is going to cause people to put a tombstone on your grave when you die, for people then to remember who you were. But if you become great, none of you have been to Bob Marley or Elvis Presley's graveyard or seen his thing, but you know about him because he did something so passionately and he understood focus. And this is why all of us know these great people. And I can tell you, you too can be great when you begin to understand, Kuti, I want to become great. And you intentionally do it. Now there are 3 P's that determine you to be great before my time finishes. 3 P's. And this is going to relate with you with all the people I spoke about. Number 1, you have to be passionate. You have to have passion. Do you know on what great, never know Zimbabwe, we'll take Zimbabwe context. very great. Vaneka kupenga like about what they do. They're not normal. Yeah? Are you understanding my point? Yes. If you haven't been called crazy or unopenga or people have laughed at you about what you're doing, or sat what tongue. Do you understand? Become so madam, but you know, this is not your parents. Leave this alone. I remember, I'll tell you this, my own father, my dad, when I